hello. Welcome to D.O.P.E Conversations. We are coming to the end of our season. Unfortunately, I had so much fun, and today is going to be no different. We have some amazing guests on to talk about agriculture, black farmers, black agriculture, and I'm so excited because we have someone here. Ashley.
Hey.
Ashley is from the Livestock Extension Program here at PVAMU, and I'm so delighted to have you because you have a very unique background on how you got into agriculture. Can you share that with us, please?
Absolutely. A lot of people think that when you're in agriculture that you're just like, that was you from a child. But actually, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I actually graduated from the High School for the Engineering Professions, Booker T. Washington, in Houston. And I just found out that that wasn't my passion. So I've always liked animals, and I kind of just took a leap of faith and enrolled in animal science at Tuskegee University.
So you went to the high school for Booker T. Washington.
I went to the,
And then you went to his college.
That's right. You see how I keep it connected.
I was like, okay.
That's right. So I went from his school to his school.
Right.
And I just kind of learned about agriculture. I really didn't have any kind of idea what it could be. I just thought I wanted to be a veterinarian because, you know, farmer and vet, that's all I really knew of agriculture. But when I got there, I was exposed to so many different things. And, you know, things happen in life. So I didn't think I was going to pass a class. So I didn't apply to vet school, but then I passed the class. So then I went on to, I actually talked to a friend, and somehow by some miracle, thank you God, I got a full ride to Tennessee State University, another HBCU.
Okay.
And there I was focused on goat breeding and genetics.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with working with goats, but more so I fell in love with working with people and engaging with the population. Wow. So then I found a career in extension where I could marry working with people, working with animals, and also being an educator, an informal educator.
Wow, that's so dope. We also have two young men currently enrolled in PVAMU's agriculture departments. One is enrolled in the soil and science of it all, and then we have one, well, Charles, enrolled, and I said, let me tell you your name. And then Robert also is in ag, but he's on the business side, so he's taking what you call your passion, and how to make money at it. So that's what's so great about this conversation today. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and dive into how to get more blacks into farming. Where do you start? Where does this all begin? And how do you do it without 10,000 acres? So those things we'll tackle when we come back after this break. Welcome back. So I'm going to jump right in because this is an exciting topic. Growing up in Mississippi, you know, we had little farms in the backyard. My mom had a chicken coop. She did not play. I mean, my grandmother, she had a chicken coop. I called her mom too. But she also had a farm where she had her vegetables and things. So how did you get into extension? That's not something you see most people of this era doing.
Right, so I kind of got into extension by accident. After I finished with my graduate program, I was still looking for a job, and a friend told me about 4-H and working with kids and agriculture, so I thought that's the way that I wanted to go. It took me a year to find this job, but I actually started off as a county extension agent for Prairie View A&M University in Smith County. So I went from Houston, big city, to not so big city in Tyler, and I absolutely fell in love with being there and working with the producers and really just getting to learn how to be an informal educator, because really that's what extension is. We take what the research and things that are done here at universities and share it with the people and make it matter, make it make sense, dollars
I
and
love that.
cents.
You get a snap on that. And I think that's because I'm snapping because I say that every week. We should be taking scholarship and bringing it to the grassroots. And that's exactly what you're doing. So what exact area do you work with in agriculture? Because agriculture could be some of everything.
Right. So I tell everybody I'm an informal agricultural educator.
Okay.
So my specific area of expertise is livestock production and management.
Okay.
But I kind of dabble in everything. In extension, you get the opportunity to take, you may focus in one thing in livestock, but I also had to work with crop producers. I also had to work with small acreage producers. So everybody that I dealt with was just a unique opportunity. So I'm specifically in agricultural education that focuses on the production side.
Oh, that's cool. And that kind of leads into you, Charles.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're soil and science. What is that?
Soil science, it's the science of the soil. You know, a lot of people don't know that the soil is probably the most biggest thing when you're planting. I know farming, a lot of times people just think about the seeds and the infrastructure and everything, but the soil, you have to feed the soil because the nutrients is what the plants thrive off of. So water, fertilizer, and a whole lot of like organic material. So I feel like when you really focus on the soil, that's when you get to see the crops and you get to have some of the harvests you want. So the soil science is probably the most important thing in farming.
So you're saying it starts with you.
Yeah.
Because if you have rocky soil, you're not
you ain't
getting
doing
in.
nothing. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
You ain't
And
growing nothing. Yeah.
as a historian, I look at, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people from the north move to the south, because we have rich, fertile lands and we can produce those crops, like you said.
Yeah.
So with that science that you're looking at, what are some of the things that you all do hands-on in your program as far as learning how to tell what's good soil and what's not?
We have a really good professor with Dr. Griffin. He lets us go out to the field and scout different areas and really see the soil textures and the different types of soil and figure out what crops grow better in which soils. But some of the hands-on stuff we do here, I'm the president of the Student Garden Club, and we get to revitalize a lot of these plots around campus, and we get to grow actual vegetable gardens on campus. So that's some of the hands-on things we do in the agriculture department as a plant and soil science major.
Okay, now that's dope too, because you're not just getting book.
Yeah.
You're getting hands-on. This is
Yeah.
beyond theory. You're doing this is practice.
You
this
have
is
to,
practical.
because if you don't, how are you going to learn? You can't learn from a book and then try to grow something. You have to get the hands-on experience, and that's why I feel like, at least with my organization, we try to give people that hands-on experience, because how are you going to do that by yourself? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people learn in the classroom and they forget about it.
Right.
But I try to implement it, and hopefully they can live their life like that, you know, and grow their own food and be self-sufficient.
Okay, and that's what this show topic is about. We want to show the Black community that agriculture is still a space that we can thrive in.
Yeah.
And soil and science is a space that we need, and that's a part of it.
And it's not that we need to thrive in it, because how are we going to be a community if we don't take part of feeding ourselves? We can't have a spoon-fed mentality. We have to grow for ourselves. How, if everything's shut down, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to grow our own food, you know, and that's why I try to preach that to the people of my organization, to take that spirit, take that conviction, and take that faith in growing your own garden and take that next step.
So that sounds like your activism.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
That's dope. Okay. Mr. Robert, this is the businessman now.
Yes, ma'am.
So you the money man.
Exactly.
We take all this great stuff. Now how can we make money with this?
Man, so agribusiness is so broad, and it includes making money off of agriculture, off the crops that you grow and everything like that. And it's a way just for us to make it just become more lucrative.
Okay.
You know, and it's like I said, it's just so broad. You know, it's not only just selling what you grow, but also just entrepreneurship, creating your own businesses, hydroponics, and different types of ag resources, and making money off of it, understanding the economics and everything like that.
So what made you think, I'm going to go to agriculture and make money? What put you in that arena?
I can definitely say it was my parents. So, well, my mom specifically, my mom worked in the USDA. She graduated from Prairie View, studying agriculture, as well as my grandfather. And so I kind of grew up like agriculture, everything I was brought into. I was put in 4-H when I was younger.
Okay.
I was in FFA, showed animals, and I actually came into Prairie View as an animal science major until I realized I don't really want to work with animals like that.
Right.
And then it was a professor, who taught me everything about agribusiness, and then I ended up changing my major. And I was like, oh wow, it is so broad. I can understand the economics. I can make money off all these different things. And with agribusiness, I can forge my own path into any realm of agriculture that I want to go into.
So what I'm hearing all of y'all basically say, you don't have to have 10,000 acres of grass. You don't have to have 20 longhorn cattle. You can get into agriculture, and there's so many different areas that we can thrive as a community, like you said, in finding ways to feed ourselves, but also be an entrepreneur in this. Can you give me some examples of business that you can do within agriculture?
Yes, ma'am. So different business you can do, like Charles said, you know, if you want to grow your own produce at home and sell it, that's very lucrative as well.
And that's when you see those, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
When you see those,
Raised beds?
yes, in the farmer markets. In the area that I live in, they have these pop-up farmer markets where people come sell their fruits and vegetables. So maybe that's what you're talking about?
Right, yes, ma'am,
Oh, okay.
exactly. I also know some individuals who create ag-based clothing, clothing.
Yeah.
I know individuals that make hemp-based clothing and stuff like that. So it's all really up to you what type of business you want to go into with agriculture and just forging your own path.
Yeah.
Right. So also we have ag lawyers. So a lot of people don't think about that, but when you talk about rural land and rural land development and all of this, a lot of the hot button issue is heir property, so inherited land. A lot of times that land is rural land that you want to try to keep in the family, or you're trying to figure out what to do with it. A lawyer who understands rural laws and rural concepts and things that sometimes us who live in urban areas don't necessarily think about, they're really good to have on hand. So if you have somebody who went to law school and maybe has a background in ag or took some classes in ag, very valuable, very valuable. So outside of what you would consider, a typical ag, an ag job, you actually have careers that are beyond what you think. There's careers in research, there's careers in, like I said, education, food and nutrition. All of that plays a part. I was listening to Charles talk about the soil. In order to grow great animals, you have to have great grass and great soil.
Yeah.
Right.
So even though we talk to livestock producers, we educate them on soil, making sure they know what the components of their soil are, the soil chemistry. So chemists. You don't think about it, but agriculture, everybody's involved in agriculture. So everybody is needed in the realm of agriculture. We just have specific jobs that say what it is, but everybody's involved in agriculture.
Yeah.
That's cool, because you just brought up a whole different world, because even though you have the agriculture umbrella, there's a lawyer that you could use, a soil scientist to come and make sure that your cattle is eating right, and then the end result is, how do I make money off of this?
Exactly. It's
So,
a cycle.
Now, I am done with my degree, and I talked about I don't have the big land plots and all these things. So how do I get started? Where do I look to say, okay, this should be my first step?
So your first step is to actually visit other people's operations.
Yeah.
The first thing to do is get experience. Volunteer. I don't care if you're an adult, if you're an elderly person, if you're a young person. Everybody should know what they're getting into, because agriculture, if you're getting into the production side, is not something that you should just casually get into. If you're doing a backyard garden, that's different. My mantra is, if it doesn't make money, it's a hobby. So if you're not selling it for profit, it's a hobby. And there's space for a hobby, but then there's space for you to make money. So
That's
if you're
what Robert
looking,
said.
I'm saying, if you're looking to meet up with Robert, then you want to look to make money. So what I generally tell people to do is actually come visit us in Extension, because we can actually hook you up with somebody who is doing the operation that you desire to do, be it gardening, be it cattle, be it goats or sheep or anything that you want to do. We can get you in touch with those producers in your area who are doing something, so you can get that experience. And then the next thing we'll ask you is, do you have the land?
Right.
Because each operation depends on what resources are available in your area. So that's why we talk about what to do with inherited property, or even if you're going out to purchase property, we'd have you get with some government agencies like the USDA, NRCS, the Natural Resources Conservation Service. If you need funding, there's the FSA, the Farm Service Agency, which is the funding arm of the USDA. And we could help you make those connections so that you start off on a solid footing. And they can also help you with planning. And you have an extension program here at Prairie View A&M University. We're right here on campus, and we actually have agents in the counties.
So is this just for PV alum or PV students?
Absolutely not. We serve the entire state of Texas.
Wow.
Currently, we have agents in 42 counties, and we're looking to expand. But if you call our office, we can definitely get you in touch with the people that you need to, or an agent close to your area, so that we can get the ball rolling. A lot of times it's just starting the conversation. If you don't know who else to call me. I'm the livestock specialist, but we also have a forester on staff, a wildlife specialist, natural resources. We have an entomologist, all on staff here on campus that has statewide responsibilities.
Man, y'all, PV kind of dope.
Yeah.
And we have an urban horticulturalist.
We do.
See, and these are things that most people don't know, because I'm in the education department. I'm sorry I don't visit you.
That's okay. I can put you on my list.
Because this is stuff that can help.
Yeah.
If you're in the community and you say, man, this sounds really good, but I don't know where to start, now I know, Ashley, you're the woman.
That's right. So shoot me an email, give me a call. And, I love to help people. So anytime I get a call, it's kind of like a rush for me.
Right.
And I actually met up with Charles. He was helping one of our 4-Hers. So there's an arm of education that deals with youth education and youth agricultural education and leadership. And that's where I met him. And, through his conversations, I was like, oh, he's a dope person, and he's going to contribute to the field of agriculture. So, I really enjoy my job, and you don't have to be you don't have to have graduated to come and see us either. I encourage students and their families to come and visit, whether it's for a career opportunity or whether it's just really to help your family.
That's cool. Charles, I want to ask you something about going back to the garden club. Chris.
Thank you.
Is that just for agriculture students, or can someone that's interested in learning about soil science just from education, because that's my department, I always have to big up education. Could someone outside of agriculture come and be a part of the garden club?
Most definitely. When you said you needed some experience, I was like, come on, work with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Faculty, any student in any major or any field, I want them to come, because agriculture, everybody has to eat at the end of the day, not just agriculture students. So if I can help anybody be self-sufficient, that's what I want to do.
Because I know my husband, he has been reading about creating your own farms and creating your own garden, in your backyard. And those, I guess, the above ground garden
Yeah, that's the raised beds.
Yes, so with the raised beds, I guess I'm assuming the soil is just as important and needs your expertise.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those times you get to fill it with stuff that soil that you can get from Home Depot or you can get from Living Earth, or just different areas. So it's different. It's kind of a different component, because like when you go to actual places where the soil is just like, it's just there, from the earth, that's when you really have to see the nutrients, and you have to do it. And I understand it's just as important in the raised bed, but it's more controllable, more manageable in the raised bed. So,
So you'll teach me. It's almost like baking a cake from scratch.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to teach me that from scratch, so that no matter where I live, I can create me a garden.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do you get in touch with the garden club? If somebody's watching and say, oh, hey, I really want to do that, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, we have an Instagram. I think it's PV Student Garden Club. And then we have a Twitter as well. That's PV Student Garden Club. So if you are interested in anything, DM us. If you see me around campus, tap me on the shoulder, and I could put you in a group chat, so any volunteering opportunity we have.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really cool, because I'm not in the ag world, but this sounds so interesting. It makes me want to go start a garden just to see if I can.
And you can take that step.
Yeah.
Look, he's encouraging.
Yeah.
Look, you don't even have to have a backyard. If you got like a back porch, a windowsill garden, we really start a lot of people. When I was out in the counties, we used to go to nursing homes and show them how to have a windowsill garden where they could grow fresh herbs. So they could, have something to do, even though they couldn't necessarily do or garden like they wanted to, that they could still be a part of agriculture in that way. So as long as you have a windowsill and some good light, good sunlight, you can grow your own. It doesn't have to be a yard, an expansive place. You can start with some hanging pots, or even in your windowsill.
Yeah.
See, now y'all about to have a whole bunch of phone calls about raised gardens and garden clubs. So
that's exactly what we need. Thank you. Thank you.
Look, we got a whole urban garden specialist, so he can definitely help you out. He's very knowledgeable, and he's a PV grad.
Mr. Jeremy Peaches. That's my guy. That's big bro.
All right, now. We always got to come back to the business. Yeah. Now, I've got my herbs growing. I got my green tomatoes. I got my soil right, so everything is going right. How can I make some money?
You can make some money, definitely. Just you know, selling it to people, for one, that you even know, for one, like people in the communities, like if you know people, like, hey, like in food insecure areas that do need those fresh fruits and vegetables, start selling to them. You know, like even just have your own kind of farmers market just set up just for the local community, and then they can come in and just start buying, and then boom, there you go.
And just to chime in, my fault.
No, go
but
ahead.
I was gonna say, a lot of people, like, you know, let's say you grew like a couple vegetables or something. Some people find a different business like juicing or like doing
Right.
this
I
or
was just about to
canning
say.
or different
That's
ways, making jam and just different ways. So I think it's just how your entrepreneur mindset is. What can you do with this vegetable or whatever you grow and make the most of it?
Man, now that's definitely organic juicing.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
right.
as well.
Because you can sit there and that cuts out a lot of the overhead of having to go buy fruits and vegetables from somewhere. You can grow your own and sell it, like you said, at the farmer's market. Is there any special type of licensure? I mean, as far as the food and FDA and things like that, do I have to worry about that as far as going to a farmer's market to sell my fruits and things?
I believe so, yes, ma'am. There are definitely some regulations,
Okay.
for sure. And you definitely, you want to check it as well. Like, is this good enough to sell? You know, you definitely do have to still have that knowledge,
Right.
like if what you're growing is okay to sell
Okay.
as well. And then, yeah, that's it. And then
So-
we, even just to kind of piggyback on what he was saying, we do have a student also who has like her own ag kind of juicing.
Yeah, that's
Really?
my. Hey, she's in my organization. I was going to say, I was going to shout out her name. Her name Christina Simmons. You see this? I put on. I put on. Yeah, her name's Christina. Her name is Christina Simmons. Her juicing is Goddess Green. Not smoothies, but juices. And she has so many different type of flavors and different type of
Wow.
things. And she told me one little shot of it was like be a supplement for like a whole day worth of vegetables or something
Okay,
like
now
that.
wait a minute, back up. Her
Yeah.
name is,
Christina Simmons.
and the fruit is, the juice company.
Goddess Green.
And where can I find it? Because I want some.
If you want it, look up on Instagram. Her name is Goddess, Goddes
Okay.
Green.
Because when you said one shot,
One
because you know
shot.
when you get older, you got to make sure you get all that stuff.
It clean
on.
your system out. We're gonna clean you out.
Don't do it before this show.
That is so special. Y'all, this has been such a great conversation. We're going to take a break and come back and give you some closing points so that you can start your own juice company, maybe start your own garden company. Might be something that you need, information you need. We're going to show you again how to get in touch with Ashley. But we're going to take this break, soak some of this in because this has been so good, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This conversation has been so fruitful.
I see what you did there.
Unintended.
I see what you did.
But I want to thank you, each one of you, for bringing your expertise and sharing what you know, because I am really excited about these herbs because my husband's
Come
been
on
talking
now.
about it, and definitely Goddess
Green.
Green. I'm
Yeah.
going to be Googling that. I will put it in the social media tag when I do my social media tonight.
Thank you.
That is so amazing. We're doing some great things, and we always know PV produces productive people, and
Exactly.
y'all are definitely being productive. So in closing, I just want to ask this. Why do you think it's important for Black farmers to exist, Black gardeners to exist, business women, businessmen in agriculture to exist?
I think representation is important. So we are the cornerstones, we are the builders of the agricultural industry in this country. So we are the ones who developed it. So why not continue to participate in it? We are good at it. Yeah. You know, as Black people, you know, I support Black businesses. We are good at it, and we are good at everything that we put our hands to. And not only just we're good at the basics, we're good at innovating and using the tools that are available. So we should be represented in all spaces, and that includes the agricultural space.
Yes.
I feel like it's a necessity. I feel like I said earlier, I feel like we're turning into a spoon-fed mentality or a spoon-fed mindset to where we're just taking whatever the government gives us. Whatever we get from the grocery stores, whatever we can get, that's what we're taking. So I feel like to be self-sufficient and for us to be strong as a people, as a community, if anything ever happened, we know we got us. Yeah. You know, and that's what I want to implement, farmers markets and different things, so people know that, you know, if anything ever happened, we can feed us. So I think that's big.
Yes.
Even just from a business standpoint, you know, as African Americans, having that kind of gateway just for us to have our own businesses and run agriculture, that helps everybody. Like Charles said, you know, we all need to eat, you know, and we all have different ways to become. This could be a gateway for other people to be entrepreneurs as well. So taking advantage of this opportunity, taking advantage, because like I said, agriculture is so broad. Right. You can have so many opportunities present itself in agriculture, and I feel like it's important for us just to take that opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, when do you all graduate?
I graduate in May 2023.
Yeah, okay. Me too, May 2023.
All right, so we're going to be keeping up with y'all. But how do we keep up with you?
And so I'm actually the president of the Agribusiness Club, and we do have an Instagram, which is the Agribusiness, Prairie View A&M Agribusiness Club. Okay. So all the students can follow that as well, just to kind of keep up with me, my e-board, my other members, and just kind of see what we're about as well.
I didn't know I was sitting among presidents.
Yes. We are among greatness.
Greatness.
We are among greatness. Presidential greatness.
Right.
Yeah. Amen.
They can follow us. We have a TikTok, we have a Twitter, and we have an Instagram, all PV Garden Club. I think that's the name for all of them, but that's how they can see our progress and different things we're doing and just stay updated.
I want to say, y'all are like the coolest agri people that I've ever met.
Thank you.
They're just so much
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And so how can we keep up, one, with PV, but also some of the things that you talked about with the herbs and what you're doing?
Right. So you can follow me on Facebook, Ashley Pellerin, just my full name. You can also follow the Cooperative Extension Program. So you can Google CEP, so for Cooperative Extension Program, PVAMU/CEP. And that's where you follow not just agriculture, but our community and economic development, family and community health, 4-H programs as well, and see what we all have going on as either as career options, or even just to see what we have going on for you guys over the summer during the school year.
Awesome.
And I would like to say I'm also graduating. Well, not graduating. Yeah. I'm lying. I will be graduating hopefully in 2 years. I'm working on my PhD at Texas A&M University in the Agricultural Leadership, Communication, and Education Department. So praying for 2 years, but I really want to focus in on my research on education for urban African American rural landowners. Wow. So hopefully that'll be coming through the pipeline through Extension here at Prairie View.
Yeah, so if people want to participate in your research, what are you doing? What type of research what type of help can they help you?
Right, so when I get to that point, hopefully I'll be able to use Prairie View as a vector for getting some feedback. Good. So I'm not at that point yet, so y'all continue to pray for me. Yes. But when I get to that point, I know I can count on my PV Panthers to help me out.
Yes, most definitely. Man, I'd like to thank y'all once again. This was an amazing show. I know, people saw Ag and like, oh, that's going to be boring. This was not a boring show, so don't even. Yeah. We gave you food for life. Yeah. See how I did that again? Come on. Yeah. So now you have food for life, and know that we can thrive in these spaces. We can help each other. We can feed each other. If something happens, we can rely on each other. And I think this was an important conversation to have. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Bikita Pegram, and also follow PVAMU TV on all those platforms. And check out this Saturday on PVAMU TV, we're going to have a subscribe-a-thon. I need your subscription. So tune in next week when I'll have on a young king to talk about his book and his story about being arrested at 12 but turning it around and getting his book into the Detroit school district as a major part of their curriculum during CRT
Come on,
banning.
snap that up.
Come on.
Yeah, got to.
All right, we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week and go forth and be great. Bikita out.